Hey, this is Knitting Brow. Thanks very much for being here. A couple of days ago, I posted about the 2009 boys fishing trip, and Yarmondo gave me a little bit of a hard time about vlogging from fish camp. I was blogging about my knitting. I wasn't just blogging about the boys fishing. So what happens at boys fishing stays at boys fishing. In one of the posts, I talked about Arlene at Fiberworks, who gave me some fiber to spin up, and I struggled with what possums were. And Kat said possums are marsupials, and I appreciate knowing that. And apparently there's some difference with possums in Australia than here in the States. I don't know what that difference is, but that's okay. Had a couple of people who've left some comments on the YouTube account, and I really appreciate that. Bestest Mama commented about my #1 Medusa hat, that it was completed. Well, and I wanted to give an update about that because I did get the hat back because #1, when she gave it to me, or she was given it with instructions to let me know how it fit, I had put in a lining out of a cotton and I believe a mohair, and the lining did not work. It was just too short, it was too tight once her hair started to grow out. So what I have done is I've gone ahead and I have finished the hat by taking out the lining. So the hat looks really good on, and I'm pretty happy with the way it turned out for her. So that, again, great little hat. I'm hoping to be able to maybe deliver it tomorrow if I see her. Speaking of hats, this is a continuation of the boys fishing trip knitting, where I finished up the vintage wool, making this little hat for me. This was a cast on 75 stitches on a size 16 needle. I used a 7 needle, and I did a knit 2 purl 1 rib, which worked out quite nicely. And I really like the top of that. And what I did is once I got to probably about 5.5 inches, I spaced 3 areas, or 3 decreases, and I did a double decrease, which was, and the double decrease that I did was I slipped one, purled 2 together, and slipped the passed the slip stitch over, and it worked quite nicely. So it's actually a pretty nice little hat there. One of the recent followers or viewers that I have on YouTube is Heather Lee 97023, and she made a great comment about the huge TV screen, and it was incredible. It was amazing. So I wish I could have some. So so anyhow, I brought my friends Abby and the M's to Knitters Mercantile, and I picked up some Emerald Stitch and Knits Pumpkin Spice. See that? And it's a very nice 100% superwash in a worsted weight yarn, 270 yards. I'll put a link to her blog, so I know her stuff is available. I know Esmeralda, and I'm wondering, should I get her on here to talk to me about knitting and her dyeing, and we could, you know, talk about her yarn? Stuff's lovely, and I'm going to be knitting some socks with that. So I'm looking for something new to knit. I've got the thrummed mittens, which look like this. These are for my friend Jeff. Jeff bought the, excuse me, these are for musical Jeff. Jeff bought this pattern with the intention that I was going to knit it for him. But I have to make these thrums. Oh my gosh, these thrums are just killing me. They're boring. So I am going to have to put this in timeout. I was working on the thrums while I was driving back, or while I was being driven back to the Dayton area from the boys fishing, so I just had to stop. What I'm going to try to finish up is my L-Bach, and it's from the 2007 Knitty. I believe it's the winter issue, but I'll put a link on that. And it calls for Nashua Creative Focus Worsted Weight, which is a wool and alpaca. I'm going to show you that label right there. See it? And I got this in a color cornflower, which is actually a color that I really do like. And here's how far I am with it. It'll block out much nicer. It's a but you can't see it. Yeah, you can see that. It's a reversible cable. And I've got about this much of the first skein left, and then I have this skein. We'll see how it goes. It's knit on a straight needle I've got it on. So we'll see how that goes, and I will let you know. One fun thing that I found on Ravelry is Ann H's tattoo. This woman has a great tattoo. It's on her foot, and I just love it. I'll put a link for those of you who are on Ravelry. You'll be able to see it. But her notes are that it's her knitting tattoo, and the line marks where to knit to on a top-down sock before she needs to decrease for the toe. I think that is hilarious. So, this is Knitting Brow. Enjoy your colorful loops of daily living. And if you would like to hear more often from me, please leave a comment either on my blog or on YouTube.